Alright, this is Andrew with Joe Home Inspection. We're doing a sewer scope today here in Salt Lake. We're at 1532 East Blaine Ave. And today is September 24th, 2025. We have the camera pushed out 95 feet to the city connection. Pretty average length of a sewer line. Average length that I see is right around 100 feet. Now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So this first connection point is called the nose on. That's where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. That looks like a good connection there. It looks like you might have an access point out there as well. You can see that opening on the top of the line. I think I saw a couple in this line. I didn't see them outside, and so they're probably buried, but they are there. Can't quite tell yet, but I think this is either transite, which is a cement asbestos pipe, or gravel cement. There's a root. I noticed a handful of roots here coming through the joints. Probably just big enough that I'd recommend they be cleaned out now. That way it doesn't cause a backup. Once you have roots, you're always going to have roots. That'll be a maintenance item. Once you have roots, you'll always have roots, and so that'll be something you need to maintain in the future. Getting it hydrojetted out every year or two. Every house is different on how aggressive the roots are at getting into the line. So that's another access point there. That opening on the top of the pipe. When you get the roots cleaned, you want it, ideally you want it jetted, where you the camera, they give you a video after showing that it's cleaned properly. You don't want them to just cable it. A cable is going to go right past the roots, maybe take out, a small percent of them, but a cable is great, or a snake is great if you're having a backup and you need to relieve the pressure and it's completely blocked. That's what it's for, but not for cleaning out roots. There's more. They start to crawl down or crawl up the pipe, searching for that water and the nutrients. More roots. Also a good idea to have the line evaluated once the roots are gone. That way you know there's not another issue being concealed by the roots. This joint looks slightly separated. Be interesting to see it cleaned. Well, that might be because we're transitioning at this point from the cement pipe to cast iron, and so I think that's why that joint looks a little different. But you do have cast iron for this last 40 feet, and this is what's under the slab. This one might go out through the garage. Cast iron is oftentimes the weakest link. It gets real rough and rusty and will eventually need to be replaced. I mean, this looks fairly smooth for the age of this cast iron. I've certainly seen a lot worse, but it will eventually need to be replaced. And there's no way to see how thick the pipe is just looking at it visually. It does look like you have good grade, and so you'd always have the option of lining it or pipe bursting, where they either a liner is basically a sleeve that they harden. It's like having a new pipe in the old pipe. Pipe burst is when they push a pipe through that old pipe, shatter out the old pipe, and leave the new one behind. And that's also an effective way that you can replace it without having to dig it up. I'm going to end this recording now.